Hello, this is Ina from Books and Boy Bands, where we talk about books and boy bands. First of all, happy New Year, everyone. Welcome 2023. I hope everyone had a great New Year celebration with your loved ones, with your books and your boy bands, of course. Yeah, I did had quite a great vacation with my family, and that's why I have lost my voice. I still decided to push through with filming this video because I have the content creator energy radiating through me right now, and I'm very excited with the year that is ahead. So I hope you understand why it's a little raspy and a little different from what I usually sound like. But yeah, I'm also still getting the hang of recording myself again, talking to the camera. So I hope you guys don't mind the few adjustments that I'm currently going through right now. But yeah, today in this video, I'd like to share with you my goals for 2023 because I want to manifest it to the world and to finally see myself achieving them at the end of the year. I also prepared my first quarter TBR, or the books that I would be reading for January, February, and March. This one is focused on the physical books only, and we'll talk about that later. So let's start with the 2023 reading resolutions. The first resolution that I have is my reading challenge. Basically, I've been in Goodreads for a decade now, and they have this yearly challenge where you announce how many books you plan on reading for the year. And for the past couple of years, I've stuck to 104 books per year, and that's our first goal, to read 104 books for this year. And I've decided on that number, and I've stayed on that number because it's 2 books per week for 52 weeks, and I think that's very achievable and doable. Though in the past year, my reading slump and my BTS mania led me not to hit my reading goals. I still think that I'd like to use that 104 as a standard, and since everything has settled down already and I have more time now, and I've been really missing reading physical traditionally published books, I'm sure I'll be able to read at least 2 books per week. So I think it's a really achievable goal. And with that, I've also have the rest of my goals. I decided on having 7 reading resolutions for this year compared to the 20 plus goals I used to have years back. I've decided to narrow it down to 7 so it's more manageable, easily trackable, so that I could really stick to these goals for the rest of the year. So out of those 104 books, the second reading resolution is to read 50 physical books. I know you only see this shelf, but I have quite a few other shelves here at home. I have almost, I think, now that I have unhauled a bit, maybe 300 books, physical books here, and most of them have been unread. Like 95% of them have not been read. So I'm hoping to at least touch 50 books physically across, the rest of the months. And on the other part of this target is that my third reading resolution is to read 25 books on my Kindle, because if you look at the next video that I would be uploading after this, which is my reading statistics for 2022. 2022 was just really an audiobook year for me. I listened to it while working, while playing games, while cooking, before I sleep, and if I haven't done that, I would not have read any book at all. So this year I want to, diversify the formats I use in reading and not just fully depend on audio. But there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you're comfortable with. I just want to challenge myself this year and get myself back on track. So with 50 physical books, I also hope that I get to read 25 books on Kindle, especially now that I have availed this, I think 99-cent deal on Kindle Unlimited for 3 months. So I have a few, months to really stock up on some Kindle Unlimited reads, and I have a ton of books I have bought before in Kindle deals and Kindle sales that are waiting for me there as well. And of course, as you know, a bookish content creator, there was a time in the past where I fell into a requesting spree on Netgalley, which is a website that gives book reviewers, book bloggers, bookish content creators a sneak peek into upcoming releases. And I have, I think, 100 or around 100 advanced reading copies I was sent before, but the books have already been published because I've been very, very late on them. So I hope I read. My target actually is to read 50 books on my Netgalley shelf and to review them so that I could finally reach that 80% goal, 80% target on Netgalley. And then another reading resolution I have, my fifth one, is to read at least 10 Filipino authored books. In the past, I have numerous targets on like reading a specific ethnicity. But for this year, 2023, I would just like to focus on reading Filipino literature. I haven't done that, I think, in the past year. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to grab at least 10 books by our homegrown authors there. And also, for my sixth goal, it's to read 10 books on a non-comfort genre. If you notice on this channel and in my other bookish platforms, I really just read romance and mysteries and thrillers and just that. So this year, I hope to at least grab for a challenge a fantasy book, a science fiction book, and maybe a literary fiction or a historical fiction book, or maybe even horror or a non-fiction book, which is something that I rarely do. So yeah, at least 10 books on a non-comfort genre, just, you know, to give me something fresh or something unique, a fresh reading experience. Hopefully that would not put me into a slump because I really just depend on my comfort genres, and in the past when I really try to read high fantasy, it just brings me into a slump. So I think I've just decided to forego the genre altogether. But this year, let's try just 10 books. And anyway, I decided that this year I would not regret DNFing books and getting rid of them. If they would just mess up my groove, I would just really close the book and move to the next one. And then my last reading resolution is to write a review after reading a book. I started in this community really just focusing on writing my reviews. They're not really scholarly level reviews, they're just consumer reviews of someone who just looks into how much they have enjoyed the book. And I want to get back to that because seeing my past 2 years in Goodreads where I forget regularly to review the books I read, when I get back to them, I find it harder to look at my connection to the book, at my past experience with the book, if I liked it, if I didn't, and that also makes it harder to recommend the books to other people. So this year, I have created my new rating system, and I would also like to at least have a paragraph, a few sentences that expresses my experience on reading the book, to, you know, have something to look back on in the future, especially since I don't see myself leaving Goodreads anytime soon. So there, those are my 2023 reading resolutions. Again, I just decided to narrow it down to 7 so that it would be easier for me to monitor. And just like having a Q1 TBR, I would also be having quarterly check-ins on how I am progressing with my reading goals. So hopefully it would be easier for me to get back on track if I ever lose my way, right? And yeah, thank you so much for watching until the end of this video. I hope you had some fun listening to me rant about books. If you have thoughts, if you have your own personal goals to share with me, just feel free to message on the comments below. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye!